All right, auxiliary problem number 3. This one's a little more complicated, so to help you out to get started, I've already taken the line of sight and I've used it to create our fold line and then measure off, etc. So right now we're actually this is going to be our edge that's going to line up the same angle here, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to find what does that horizontal, the top view of this object look like, using only the frontal and our right side view. So our auxiliary view this time will be our horizontal, the top view. So we're going to draw a couple things. Now to make it a little easier for you, I highlighted it, just show the reference it. That's all I did. You don't have to, but I did this to try to help. This will help in a minute when we start projecting lines and starting to line everything up, to make sure that I know that this is the bottom. That goes that little circle part, the little circle part here, the arc. This is that top part here, so this is representing this part. And if I drew this over, it would go to the bottom of it. If you don't believe me, all I was doing was trying to give you a quick, easy visual. See how it lines up? So you'd have something to reference to follow along. So when we start drawing lines up and trying to draw the shape, these lines come over to here and they represent in their different parts that we're going to draw. I've also went ahead and blocked in just this view so I could be able to measure easier with my divider. That's all it's for. And okay, sorry, brain part. I've blocked in and make it easier for me to dimension, and I've typed my 4 corners down, and I have taken it and used our line of sight, that angle, and I've used that to be my straight edge here, so it makes it a little easier for me to use my drafting tools and draw everything. So let's start off. Let's start off just by, let's draw this top part here. So we're taking this object here, and this is the side of it, and we're tilting it up. So we know we're going to have, this is the base part of it here, and then it's going to come up. It's going to have like a little curve. We know that this top here is going to be transferred to over here. And so those are the kind of things that we're using for this. So don't panic and freak out and try to figure out where am I getting this, how am I getting these magical places and points, etc. They're not magical. They're just plain old some simple stuff. It's just hard to, sometimes you have to be able to correlate the points here and here to get it, and sometimes you just don't get it until you start drawing. I don't know how else to explain it. So let's just start here. We're going to work our way around. So we're going to draw this part of the view here, and then we'll draw this missing part at the top of the view here, and then we'll connect the dots between the two. Step 1, divider, transfer your measurement. So this is my width here, and that would be the width here. Here is that line for that part right here. Now we know it comes in, correct? So it does a little cut in. How do I know where it ends? Follow that little cutout piece here over, follow that back, and that's how you find those points. Same thing, let's get the opening here. Here's the opening. Oops, bumped it around a little bit there. And mark it. So we just got this line, that part. Next, be careful, sometimes you can poke yourself with those dividers, they can be pretty sharp. Find that cement size, line it up. Now I already knew that was going to be a little complicated, so I'd already kind of given you the center point for this to try to give you a little hint there. So I know it comes down to here. Because again, this line comes up to here and meets to that point here. I know I have an arc. Now here's the problem with that arc or curve, radius, etc. when you're doing it plain, straight on, true view like it is. In the regular frontal view, it looks just like a regular radius, a circle, correct? But as soon as we tilt it on any kind of angle, it's going to change shape. So it's going to become elliptical. So we're going to have a slightly different, you can tell that it's an arc. It is not going to be a perfectly round arc. It's going to be more of a elliptical, like egg shape. To do that, follow it back to find your center line here. Follow your center line here. There's your edge. Here's the top. Follow it here and follow it back because we know that it comes back. So you have a little arc that looks something like that. Okay? All right. Now let's go ahead and draw this top part here. This top part I know has got like an angled piece, flat piece, big angled piece down to the circle. So let's start off with it. Corner here. This is my very back corner here. It comes back to that. Divider. And mark the point. Find out width. And all we're doing is just transferring those dimensions. So I know I have a little line that goes here to here. Now, I can't see this, but I know this because I'm using my references. I kind of look here in this view and I know that it's got a flat edge here. So if it's got like a flat edge here, it's going to represent some kind of flat surface over here. Okay? How am I going to know what that is? Where do I ends, etc.? So I know it ends here. So I'm going to take my triangle, move it over to that corner because there's a bunch of little lines right there. And I'm just going to reinforce myself there so I can see where it goes. I'm like, okay, great. That's where it goes, right? And how do I find out where it goes? Well, you can do the exact same thing. You can transfer those measurements over if you wanted to. Instead, I am going to take my straight edge and just bring it over. So there are those corners of it. All right. Now, I know about looking here that it comes down an angle and comes down an angle. How do I find those angles and how do I know what they are? So again, I'm going to do a little reference here. So if I take, and it's kind of hard to do when I'm set up here, but if I took this and had it lined straight up, I would see that it correlates and lines up to this little hidden line that's cut out right here, right? So that's the line that I'm going to use. And that line goes all the way to the back. So we're going to follow that line all the way to the back. There's your point. There's that part of it. And I'll just lightly sketch it. I haven't drawn anything darkly yet. Okay. How do I get the point here where it lines up with the circle part, this edge right here? Follow it back. Follow it up. Right? Yes, no, maybe so. Now here's where a lot of students are going to get up. They're going to try to line this up to that corner there. That's not going to work that way because this is lining up to that edge here. So we're going to actually need to find, try to get this out of the way.
Hello?
So you can see a little better
I'm not writing.
this back corner here.
I'm just filling out the paper that they submit to get checks.
So we're going to follow it.
Yeah, no, they don't. Okay, cool.
So that goes to that one.
Uh-huh.
The question is to follow, how do I find this one? Sorry, have a little itch there. So this is this part here that connects to there. We need the little part that connects, that comes back down to here, etc. So to do that, we need to do a couple of things so that we can find it. Well, one, we know it's going to fall on that line because it's coming through. Now we need to find, well, how's it going to end, where does it end, etc. So again, we're going to use those lovely little reference points here. So here's the back end of it, right? And that back end lines up to this point here. So that back end would come to here. So it should, in theory, should meet. So that comes through. That should be one of the points right there, correct? Okay, so then we're going to come down even farther. I'm going to move this up out of the way so we can see maybe a little better. Okay, we need the little curve in. Where does the little curve in meet? To here. So that outside curve part meets right there. I know it seems a little weird, but it works. So that's how you get those 2 points. Then we need top edge comes to there, that goes to there. Okay, so
I'm at the student worker desk in the Thompson building, and I'm trying to print something, and it won't let me. It says that there's something stuck in line for the printer. It's not
okay, we're going to finish drawing this one. And again, we got to use some of our reference points to figure it out. And we need to find out, if I look at the example given, I know it comes down an angle, so it's kind of representing this angle side here. So how do I know that? You pull that over where it lines up here, right? So it lines up on that. That hits this line here, back to here. So I follow, all I did, line over to here, line back to here, where it's hitting on this line, which is represented this line. There's that part of it. Okay, now we need to get the next part. So we have this little part here that sticks out, right? So let's do a couple things just so we know. So we know we're going to be dealing with something on this line, and this line to start with. So that's going to give us some of our points that we're looking for. All right, so next I need to get, and if I'm looking at it, I say, okay, well, it's got a flat edge. So it's telling me, hey, you have a flat edge here and a flat edge here. So I know I'm going to have some flat edges like the flat surfaces I have here. That's going to be like the flat surface here. That's going to be part of that flat surface there. How am I going to get that? How am I going to show that? Again, dividers, find that depth, make sure you're following it on that line, mark it. Right there. Okay. Dividers, find that dimension, mark it. Place it right there. Okay. Here's the flat edge. Comes to here. We repeat the same process, so you can transfer your dimensions again, or you can use your flat edge to be your straight edge to be your friend here. And again, it's going to come up to, there it goes, to the, so you have to find that edge and find where it comes to. Edge up. So it comes to there. So there's that little part of it. Now we need to get the bottom part where it's at. Process. Find the dimension. The dimension comes over here and it hits here and it comes up. So mark it. There's your first one.
not like a power button on it. I don't know which one. There's like 6 of them down here. It's behind the desk and behind the cabinet. Yesterday we had the same problem, and they did like the where you take over my computer screen and they removed the picture and they added it and it fixed it. But we were on a different account, so I'm not saying it's on mine.
So now we need to finish the little part where it connects from here to here. Line it up. Like a game and connect the dots. So there's your basic. So this is not the top plane. This was not top. This is your frontal, your front plane. This is your right side of your profile. This becomes that horizontal in an auxiliary view. So this is the horizontal plane, your auxiliary view of the horizontal plane, and this is what the object looks like. So what you need to do now is you need to go back in and darken the object in, and then of course do your title block on your border. I'm not going to show you how to do all that. I'm just going to darken a couple of lines in for demonstration purposes real quick. Just use your straight edge, make a dark enough of a line so it matches up. You can get elliptical. Just going to draw it so it goes in.
Okay, I got it.
And then we just make all our visible lines dark and the border dark. All right, very good. You can do this.